So for Q4, does the attach of Netflix connected over-the-top hardware matter? Or does that matter more for Roku because Netflix has such deep penetration into over-the-top hardware anyway?
Yeah, and only more and more. Look, Roku's doing a terrific job, but there are plenty of other alternatives, and we're seeing Netflix is in. You would never be releasing a smart TV in this day and age if you didn't have Netflix pre-installed. It would almost be worthless. Even though you could install it afterwards, it's such an important part of the selling process. So certainly Roku remains very strong and very important in the ecosystem, but Netflix is more important.
Simon, you mentioned sports. What's amazing to me is that we're awash in sports. Everything's been, all seasons have been commingled, basketball, baseball, hockey, you name it, football. And yet, I mean, I would imagine your view is that viewership at Netflix has not been affected by what used to be the major draw on all visual media.
Yeah, I think if you go and look at each of the individual sporting leagues, you'll see that their ratings are down year over year. So there's no doubt that when you don't have the spectators in the stands, it takes away the event element. It takes away a degree of the excitement from the live sports. And that's, I think, been impacting on the audiences. And also, you've seen with the NFL, you don't know necessarily if your team's playing or if they've been rescheduled. Or so it's a challenged season for all sports. I think the NFL managed it very, very well and created a real event around their games with the way that they managed the arena. But it's certainly proving a lot more challenging with the NFL and the outdoor arenas.
But Simon, when you look ahead to next year, Netflix itself warned that they were up against some very tough comparisons in the first half of the year. Then you have the fact that the movie industry is expected to come back, expected to do its big theatrical releases with a real backlog of films that were supposed to be released this year. And if you expect sports to come back at a more regular cadence next year, could there be even more headwinds for Netflix beyond just those tough comparisons?
I don't think so. I think it was Reed that referenced in the earnings call that they'll return to a more normalised growth rate next year. So I think they're aware that some of the tailwinds might go away, but they still seem very confident. And it has become the default. It is as Reed has always aspired to. They are winning the moment of truth when you sit down. Generally, for most people, when they are sitting down on the couch of an evening, Netflix is the initial go-to point for their entertainment choices. So I think that they're going to continue to be that default. People aren't going to free-to-air. They aren't going to cable in the same way that they were. They'll go to Netflix first and see what has dropped this week.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.